"My son will never marry a black woman." Her voice had cut through the room like a winter chill, and I had remembered it every single day since. Maya Johnson paused outside the grand marble doors of the St. Regis ballroom, her breath catching as the golden light spilled across the floor, reflecting in her carefully polished heels and the soft sheen of her emerald dress. The air was thick with anticipation, a mixture of champagne bubbles and the murmurs of the city's elite, but Maya's thoughts were elsewhere, tracing back 6 years to the first time she had met John Carter at a charity gala. Then, she had been a young financial analyst with nothing but determination and a notebook filled with dreams, while he was a figure of effortless power, the kind of man whose presence seemed to bend the room to his will. Tonight, the story felt inverted. She had grown, blossomed in ways that even she had not fully imagined, a life built with intellect, resilience, and grace, yet the shadow of disapproval lingered. As she stepped into the ballroom, the soft clinking of glasses and hushed conversation faded into a singular focus. John, standing tall beside his mother, the familiar gray of his eyes catching the chandelier's sparkle, the suit sculpting him like a figure in marble. The mother's gaze, sharp and unyielding, swept across the room as if to stake a claim on the narrative, but Maya held her head high, letting the light kiss her skin, each step measured and deliberate. She could feel the invisible pull of 6 years converging in this moment, the silent acknowledgement of everything they had endured. John's expression was unreadable at first, a practiced calm overlaying a flicker of recognition, but as Maya moved closer, memories surged, late nights analyzing market trends together, secret smiles across crowded rooms, whispered encouragements that had cemented a bond deeper than any social expectation. The children, 2 little hearts beating in sync with the rhythm of this reunion, appeared at her side, their tiny hands grasping hers with unwavering trust, innocent yet powerful in the truth they embodied. A hush fell over the crowd, the weight of legacy and prejudice pressing against the moment, yet Maya's presence alone began to shift the gravity. The mother's words from years past rang hollow against the life that had flourished quietly and resiliently, the glow-up. The children, the proof of love transcending boundaries, illuminated the room more than any crystal chandelier. John's lips parted slightly, the first hint of acknowledgement, as if he had been waiting to see this strength, this brilliance that Maya had honed in silence. The soft laughter of the children mingled with the gentle clink of silver, a symphony of innocence and triumph that drew every eye to the truth being revealed. Maya's emerald eyes met John's, a silent conversation passing between them, filled with history, longing, and the quiet defiance of a love that refused to bend. And just as the mother's gaze faltered, uncertainty creeping into her carefully constructed authority, the scene held, poised on the edge of revelation, leaving every onlooker suspended in anticipation, the camera lingering on tiny hands that were the living testament to courage and devotion, hinting that while this chapter had begun its crescendo, the full story, the confrontation, the acknowledgement, the reconciliation, was yet to unfold, leaving the room bathed in golden light and the promise of a future that no prejudice could overshadow. The soft glow of the ballroom shifted as conversations resumed, but attention lingered like the last note of a symphony suspended in the air. Maya's gaze swept across the room, taking in the subtle details she had memorized from years of quiet observation. The polished mahogany panels, the delicate crystal arrangements, the way the light bounced off the golden accents, all reflecting a world she had once felt alien to. She adjusted the hold on her children's hands, their small fingers warm and certain, grounding her in the moment. John stepped closer, his movements measured, his eyes betraying the weight of years, regrets, and unspoken words. The crowd sensed the change, the shift from expectation to revelation, whispers curling through the air like delicate smoke, but Maya ignored them, her focus entirely on the man who had been both her anchor and her storm. She remembered the countless nights of clandestine meetings, the hidden smiles, and the quiet courage it had taken to build a life on the foundation of love and integrity while navigating a world that had often underestimated her. Now, that life stood as a testament, undeniable and luminous, as she met John's gaze. He reached out slowly, hesitating, the hesitation carrying the years of longing and lessons learned, as if testing the reality of what he had glimpsed. The mother, still standing with a mixture of surprise and disbelief etched into her features, could no longer deny the presence of what had grown in secrecy, the evidence of love enduring against the currents of expectation. The children, with their innocent curiosity, tugged gently at Maya's skirt, their eyes wide and unflinching, and the room's attention shifted completely, the subtle murmurs replaced by a profound quiet, a collective recognition of the unfolding truth. John knelt slightly to meet their height, his voice soft yet resonant, calling them by name, acknowledging their place in this story, and the warmth that spread through his tone was mirrored in Maya's eyes, a silent dialogue bridging the gap between what had been and what was now. Every step she took forward was deliberate, a choreography of grace and purpose, each movement reinforcing the authority she had cultivated over the years, the quiet power of a life well lived. She allowed a small smile to curl at the corners of her lips, not in triumph over anyone, but in the quiet satisfaction of integrity and persistence. The mother's posture shifted imperceptibly, the sharpness of judgment giving way to an internal reckoning, the awareness that her son's life, his family, and the love that had endured could not be contained or dictated by prejudice. Maya's hand rested on the shoulder of her eldest child, her eyes meeting John's one more time, and in that instant, 1,000 unspoken emotions passed between them: regret, acknowledgement, respect, and a tentative hope for what was to come. The ballroom, still glimmering under the chandeliers, seemed to pause, every detail magnified. The shimmer of silk dresses, the muted shine of polished shoes, the flicker of candlelight across crystal glasses, as if the universe itself had leaned in to witness this moment of reconciliation and quiet assertion. And yet, as the children's laughter broke the hush, light and clear, there remained the unspoken promise that their story was only beginning, that the next chapter would be written not with fear or hesitation, but with the certainty of love, resilience, and the undeniable force of a family forged against the odds. The evening air outside the St. Regis had turned cooler, brushing against Maya Johnson's cheeks as she guided her children toward the quiet corner of the ballroom, their small hands clutching hers with effortless trust. The soft murmurs of guests resumed around them, but a subtle shift lingered in the atmosphere, as if the space itself had taken note of the undeniable truth standing before them. John Carter followed, his steps measured, each one carrying the weight of reflection and the recognition of years gone by. He watched Maya's composed posture, the confident set of her shoulders, and the ease with which she navigated the crowd, and a sense of awe settled over him, mingled with the tenderness that had never truly left his heart. The children's laughter, light and unguarded, drifted like music, capturing the attention of a few lingering onlookers who could not help but be drawn into the narrative unfolding before them. Maya allowed herself a quiet glance at John, noting the subtle softening of his gaze, the way his eyes lingered on the children, tracing the curves of their small faces with a careful reverence, a silent acknowledgement of the family that had been nurtured and protected despite the obstacles that had once threatened to separate them. The mother's expression remained guarded, but the rigid lines of authority had begun to relax, imperceptibly, as the reality of her son's life and the family he had built with Maya became undeniable. Each detail of the room, the glint of crystal glasses, the reflection of light off polished floors, the delicate arrangements of flowers that perfumed the air with subtle fragrance, seemed to mirror the fragility and strength of the moment, amplifying the emotional resonance of the reunion. Maya knelt briefly to adjust the sleeve of her youngest child's dress, her fingers brushing the fine fabric with a practiced grace, and in that act, she conveyed both care and command, a quiet mastery over circumstance that had been cultivated through years of perseverance. John stepped closer, offering his arm, not as a gesture of dominance, but of partnership, and the children gravitated naturally toward him, their trust a testament to the bond he had nurtured even from a distance. The mother watched in silence, witnessing the power of patience and integrity, the kind that does not need to raise a voice to command respect. Guests who had begun to murmur now paused, captivated by the scene that conveyed unspoken lessons in dignity, resilience, and the enduring force of love. The soft ambient music, previously drowned by chatter, seemed to swell subtly, underscoring the significance of this chapter, highlighting the elegance and gravity of the family unit now visible in full light. Maya's emerald eyes caught John's, and in that moment, a quiet conversation passed between them, unspoken yet rich with the acknowledgement of past struggles, shared triumphs, and the promise of the future. She straightened fully, guiding her children forward, each step deliberate, reflecting the careful balance between vulnerability and strength, while John mirrored her movement, creating an image of unity that resonated with everyone who witnessed it. The mother finally exhaled, almost imperceptibly, and a faint, contemplative smile touched her lips, the first sign that recognition and acceptance were beginning to surface amidst the echoes of old judgments. The children's playful chatter wove seamlessly into the stillness, their presence softening the edges of tension, illuminating the path toward reconciliation with the simple authenticity of youth. As the evening continued, the ballroom's golden lighting reflected off Maya's dress and the polished surfaces around them, creating a halo effect that seemed almost symbolic of renewal, the kind that comes from endurance, courage, and unwavering commitment to what is right and true. Every detail, from the quiet confidence in Maya's posture to the gentle attentiveness John displayed, painted a picture not of victory over others, but of triumph through integrity, a narrative that no social barrier or past prejudice could diminish. The mother's gaze followed them, lingering on the children, her mind gradually reshaping, processing the undeniable proof of love's resilience and the power of dignity to command respect, while the soft clinking of glasses and murmurs of admiration around them emphasized that this was not only a private victory, but a moment that would be remembered, whispered about, and quietly revered for its grace and authority. And as Maya led her children toward the outer terrace, the cool night breeze carrying hints of the city beyond, the story remained suspended on the precipice of promise, the future open, luminous, and yet to be fully revealed, a testament to the power of patience, resilience, and the unshakable bonds of family. The night had deepened over Manhattan, and the city lights flickered like distant stars reflected in the glass walls of the St. Regis Terrace. Maya Johnson stood with her children, their laughter carried lightly on the wind, blending with the muted hum of the city below. John Carter moved beside her, his hand resting gently on the small of her back, a subtle yet grounding presence that spoke of familiarity, trust, and shared history. The mother observed from a short distance, her posture stiff yet gradually softening as she processed the reality before her. She could no longer deny that the children were living proof of love, perseverance, and the unyielding strength Maya had cultivated. Every detail in the room, the polished surfaces, the shimmer of dresses, the soft reflection of chandelier light on the marble, served as a silent witness to the transformation that had occurred over the past 6 years. Maya's gaze swept across the gathering, noting the subtle shifts in attention, the quiet admiration, and even the tentative respect that began to radiate toward her. The children tugged lightly at her hands, urging her forward, their innocence and unguarded joy bridging the gaps that prejudice had once imposed. John's eyes followed their every movement. The tenderness he displayed a reflection of the countless moments he had witnessed in private, the silent affirmations of family, love, and shared resilience. The mother's expression continued to evolve, the sharp lines of disapproval softening as she witnessed Maya's composed confidence, the elegant assurance that came from years of overcoming obstacles with dignity and grace. Guests whispered quietly, their attention drawn to the undeniable energy of the family before them, and the room seemed to pulse with a new understanding, a recognition that power, love, and respect could not be dictated by heritage or societal expectation. Maya took a slow breath, feeling the balance of the evening shift subtly, as if the air itself acknowledged the victory of patience, perseverance, and unwavering integrity. She bent slightly to adjust the collar of her youngest child's jacket, her movements precise, graceful, and measured, reinforcing the authority she carried not through words but through presence and action. John mirrored her, subtly aligning with her movements, creating a visual harmony that spoke of unity, mutual respect, an enduring partnership. The mother, standing back yet fully engaged, could not avert her gaze from the children, their presence a gentle yet powerful testament to the choices made, the courage displayed, and the love nurtured across years of challenge. The soft murmur of conversation around the terrace continued, punctuated by the occasional clink of glassware, but the focus remained firmly on Maya, John, and their children, the living embodiment of resilience and triumph. As Maya guided the children toward a quiet alcove, she allowed herself a moment to take in the sweeping view of the city below, the golden lights mirrored in the windows and reflective surfaces around her, symbolizing the light of new beginnings. John joined her, their hands brushing together with a deliberate connection, silent acknowledgement of shared journey and mutual respect, their eyes meeting in a moment that required no words. The mother finally exhaled, a slow, reflective breath that signaled the first step toward recognition and acceptance, her gaze lingering on the children who represented the undeniable force of love and integrity. The city spread out beneath them, a landscape of possibility and promise, and in that panorama, Maya saw the reflection of her own journey, the triumph of steadfast determination, and the beginning of a chapter where prejudice had been met with dignity, where love had been allowed to flourish, and where the future remained open, bright, and full of potential for every member of the family standing there, together, facing what was yet to come. The night had grown quieter, the city lights outside the terrace shimmering like scattered diamonds across the skyline. Yet the St. Regis Ballroom remained alive with a gentle hum of conversation and soft laughter, each sound punctuating the significance of the evening. Maya Johnson guided her children toward the center of the room, their small hands intertwined with hers, their presence an anchor in the midst of so many observant eyes. John Carter followed closely, his movements deliberate, his gaze fixed on Maya with a mixture of admiration, respect, and quiet wonder at the life she had built. The mother stood slightly apart, her posture still cautious but less rigid, as she studied the family before her, witnessing the tangible embodiment of patience, courage, and unwavering integrity. The children's laughter, now unrestrained, echoed softly across the polished floors, drawing smiles from a few lingering guests who could not help but be captivated by the warmth and authenticity of the scene. Maya bent slightly to adjust a bow on her youngest child's jacket, her hands steady, her movements elegant, signaling a composed authority born of years of resilience and determination. John's hand brushed briefly against hers, a gentle acknowledgement of shared history and mutual support, a silent reassurance that despite the challenges of the past, they were together, present, and committed. The mother's eyes lingered on the children, and in that moment, the first flicker of recognition and acceptance crossed her features, subtle yet profound, a quiet concession to the undeniable truth that love, family, and dignity cannot be confined by outdated expectations or narrow prejudices. Maya straightened, the soft sway of her dress catching the light, her gaze meeting John's once more, and they shared an unspoken understanding, a promise to navigate the future together with integrity, patience, and love. The room seemed to respond to this energy, the glint of crystal glasses, the polished surfaces, and the reflective chandeliers amplifying the quiet triumph unfolding before them. Guests began to step back, allowing the space for the family to move with natural ease, a tacit acknowledgement that what they witnessed was more than a reunion. It was a testament to perseverance, empowerment, and the beauty of resilience. The children's innocent chatter mingled with the soft strains of music, filling the space with life and vitality, reinforcing the gravity of the moment and highlighting the contrast between youthful authenticity and the lingering rigidity of social expectation. John knelt slightly to converse with his children, his voice calm and warm, drawing smiles and laughter, a bridge between past tensions and present joy. Maya observed him, her eyes reflecting pride, trust, and the quiet satisfaction of a journey well-traveled, the culmination of years of navigating a world that had not always welcomed her presence. The mother, still standing nearby, seemed to soften further, her hands clasped lightly in front of her, acknowledging silently the enduring strength and unwavering dignity that Maya embodied. the very qualities that had enabled her to nurture a family in the face of adversity. The city outside continued to glitter, a backdrop to the unfolding story, each light echoing the promise of new beginnings and the enduring power of resilience. Maya adjusted her stance, holding her children close, their warmth grounding her, while John aligned himself alongside her, their silhouettes framed by the glow of golden light spilling through the terrace windows. Every subtle glance, every measured step, every quiet laugh of the children contributed to a tableau of triumph, integrity, and hope. The mother's gaze lingered, absorbing the evidence of perseverance and the undeniable reality that prejudice could not diminish the love and achievements of this family. And as Maya and John shared a quiet, meaningful look, the children clinging to their hands, the room held a suspended breath of acknowledgement, of quiet admiration, of the understanding that the journey of resilience, love, and dignity was ongoing, that the future was theirs to shape, luminous and unbound, and that the story, while already extraordinary, was only beginning to reveal its full depth and promise. The soft glow of the ballroom reflected off the crystal chandeliers, casting a warm golden hue that seemed to settle around Maya Johnson and her family like a halo. The children's laughter echoed softly against the polished floors, mingling with the distant strains of a string quartet that played in the corner of the room, each note punctuating the quiet triumph of the moment. Maya adjusted the sleeve of her youngest child's dress with a practiced grace, her movements deliberate, elegant, and filled with authority born from years of perseverance. John Carter remained at her side, his presence steady and grounding, his eyes reflecting admiration and the quiet joy of witnessing the family he had helped nurture. Across the room, the mother's expression continued to shift imperceptibly, the initial rigidity softening into a contemplative calm as she observed the undeniable unity and strength of the family before her. The subtle warmth of the children's energy seemed to illuminate the space, their innocence acting as a bridge over years of tension and unspoken expectations. Maya's gaze swept across the room, noting the small details, the shimmer of silk gowns, the gleam of polished shoes, the delicate sparkle of crystal glassware, and each reflected the grace and poise she carried with her, a visual testament to the resilience and dignity she had cultivated. John knelt slightly to converse with the children, his voice calm, warm, and reassuring, eliciting giggles and smiles that drew attention and admiration from the remaining guests. Maya watched him, her eyes reflecting pride, trust, and the quiet satisfaction of shared history, the bond of family now fully realized and visible to all present. The mother's hands remained clasped, her eyes following each movement, slowly acknowledging the depth of love and integrity that Maya embodied, the qualities that had allowed her to nurture this family against all odds. The gentle hum of conversation continued around them, yet the focus remained on the family, whose presence conveyed a story of triumph, patience, and unwavering commitment. Maya bent slightly to pick up a fallen ribbon from the floor, her action simple but graceful, radiating a quiet authority that required no explanation. John mirrored her movements subtly, reinforcing a visual harmony that spoke of partnership, respect, and shared responsibility. The children tugged at their parents' hands playfully, their laughter weaving through the ambient sound, reinforcing the sense of security, warmth, and belonging that defined the family unit. Outside, the city lights flickered against the skyline, mirrored in the windows and polished surfaces, symbolizing the bright potential of the future, open and unbounded, a reflection of the resilience and determination that had brought them to this moment. Maya allowed herself a soft smile, the first quiet acknowledgement of the journey they had endured, a journey marked by challenge, patience, and unwavering dignity. John's hand brushed hers gently, a silent confirmation of shared resolve and mutual support, while the mother, observing from a respectful distance, appeared to reconcile the past with the present, her acknowledgement subtle yet profound. The children's innocent chatter filled the space with life, each word and laugh serving as a reminder of the triumph of love, integrity, and perseverance over prejudice and expectation. As the evening progressed, the family moved together with natural ease, their presence commanding quiet respect without needing to assert it, the subtle glow of the room highlighting their unity, resilience, and the promise of continued happiness. Each glance, each measured step, each soft laugh reinforced the tableau of enduring strength, familial love, and the quiet assertion of dignity. The mother's gaze lingered on them, absorbing the reality of what had been built and nurtured, recognizing silently that love, patience, and unwavering commitment could overcome even the most entrenched expectations. The ambient light caught the shimmer of Maya's dress and the glint of crystal around them, creating a visual metaphor for hope, renewal, and the enduring power of resilience. And as John and Maya shared a brief, meaningful look, the children clinging to their hands, the room seemed to pause, suspended in a moment that celebrated the culmination of patience, perseverance, and the enduring bonds of family, leaving the future open, bright, and filled with the promise of countless possibilities yet to unfold. The soft night breeze carried the faint scent of blooming jasmine from the terrace gardens, wrapping Maya Johnson and her children in a gentle embrace as they moved toward a quieter corner of the St. Regis Ballroom, the city lights below glittering like scattered diamonds across the skyline. John Carter walked beside her, his posture relaxed yet attentive, his eyes reflecting the mixture of admiration and quiet gratitude he felt as he watched Maya interact with their children, guiding them with patience, grace, and the subtle authority of someone who had faced adversity and emerged stronger. The mother stood at a respectful distance, her hands loosely clasped in front of her, watching as the family moved together with a natural rhythm, the children's laughter and chatter threading through the space, bridging the gap between past tension and present harmony. Guests shifted their attention discreetly, drawn by the effortless presence of the family, noting the subtle elegance of Maya's movements, the confident alignment of John's steps with hers, and the luminous joy radiating from the children, a silent testament to resilience, love, and dignity cultivated over 6 years of careful perseverance. Maya bent slightly to adjust the bow on her youngest child's coat, her fingers moving with precise, elegant motions, signaling calm competence and a quiet command of the environment. John mirrored her actions subtly, reinforcing a sense of unity and partnership that spoke volumes without a single word. The mother's gaze softened, her initial disapproval tempered by the undeniable reality of what she witnessed, a family forged through patience, unwavering commitment, and love that could not be constrained by outdated expectations or societal pressure. The children's bright eyes and innocent smiles illuminated the room, drawing warmth and attention from those around them, their very presence underscoring the triumph of integrity and quiet perseverance over prejudice and doubt. Maya lifted her gaze to the panoramic view of the city beyond, allowing herself a brief, reflective moment, her emerald eyes catching the glow of the city lights and the shimmer of chandeliers, a visual reminder of the journey she had traveled and the light of new beginnings. John's hand brushed hers lightly, a gesture of connection, solidarity, and silent celebration of the life they had built together. The mother continued to observe, gradually allowing her posture to relax, absorbing the full measure of Maya's presence, strength, and grace, recognizing the enduring power of dignity, courage, and steadfastness. The room's soft music, previously a background murmur, seemed to swell subtly, highlighting the resonance of the moment, underscoring the significance of what had been accomplished without confrontation or overt assertion, a quiet victory expressed through composure, elegance, and relational harmony. Maya guided the children with measured steps, her actions deliberate and calm, her body language conveying a sense of assurance, mastery of circumstance, and protective warmth. John's alignment beside her reinforced the visual tableau of unity, partnership, and quiet triumph. The mother's eyes lingered, reflecting a mixture of contemplation, realization, and reluctant admiration, the evidence of the children's happiness and the family's cohesion, challenging prior assumptions and demanding acknowledgement. The subtle interplay of candlelight, crystal reflections, and polished surfaces enhanced the scene, emphasizing the quiet authority of Maya's presence and the elegance of the family's shared narrative. Laughter and soft conversation continued around them, but the focus remained on Maya, John, and their children, each interaction radiating authenticity, calm strength, and undeniable connection. The family paused briefly near the terrace window, the city lights mirrored in the glass and in their expressions, capturing a moment of stillness, reflection, and promise. Every glance, every step, every subtle motion painted a portrait of resilience, integrity, and love undiminished by time, challenge, or expectation, leaving the future luminous, open, and full of possibility, a living testament to the enduring power of patience, dignity, and unshakable familial bonds. The first rays of dawn began to filter through the tall windows of the St. Regis ballroom, painting the marble floors with soft streaks of gold, and Maya Johnson stood with her children close by, the quiet hum of the city awakening beneath them. John Carter remained at her side, his hand resting lightly on her back, a gesture that conveyed steady support and mutual respect. The mother watched them, her expression contemplative, her rigid composure softened by the undeniable reality of the family before her. Maya's children, filled with curiosity and innocent energy, wandered briefly ahead, their small voices rising in laughter that seemed to carry the light of a new day into the room. Each smile, each gesture, reflected a life built on perseverance, integrity, and quiet strength, a testament to the years of challenge they had overcome together. The mother's gaze lingered on the children, absorbing the proof of love that had blossomed despite initial doubt and prejudice, the living embodiment of hope, patience, and the courage to rise above societal expectations. Maya adjusted the hem of her dress and the ribbon on her youngest child's jacket, her movements precise, graceful, and deliberate, a visual expression of composure and self-assurance that spoke louder than any words could. John mirrored her subtly, his eyes never leaving hers, communicating the depth of their partnership, their shared history, and the quiet pride of watching the family they had nurtured together flourish. The ambient light caught on the polished surfaces and crystal accents around the room, reflecting the elegance and poise of the moment, amplifying the significance of the reunion, and highlighting the power of resilience and dignity over judgment and expectation. Maya bent slightly to lift a fallen napkin, her actions measured and refined, signaling the calm authority she carried from years of navigating challenges with grace. The children followed her example, moving confidently in the space, their presence a quiet assertion that love and family cannot be dictated by prejudice. John knelt briefly to adjust his eldest child's jacket, speaking softly, eliciting laughter and attention, bridging any remaining tension, and reinforcing the bond that had been tested and strengthened over time. The mother's posture shifted imperceptibly, a subtle acknowledgement of the integrity and grace that Maya had embodied, and the undeniable proof that patience, determination, and unwavering commitment had shaped the family before her into a force impossible to ignore or deny. The soft hum of music, the gentle flicker of candlelight, and the warm reflections of chandeliers created an atmosphere that was at once intimate and expansive, emphasizing the significance of the evening and the quiet power of the family's presence. Maya allowed herself a small smile, the first sign of quiet satisfaction, reflecting the pride and calm strength that came from overcoming years of challenge and prejudice. John's hand brushed against hers gently, a silent affirmation of support, trust, and shared accomplishment, while the mother continued to observe, her gaze lingering with contemplation, slowly reconciling past judgments with the undeniable beauty and dignity of the family before her. The children's laughter filled the room with life, their voices echoing against polished marble and glass, reinforcing the vibrancy and authenticity of the family's presence. Maya guided them through the room with measured steps, each motion deliberate, conveying calm authority, protective warmth, and grace. John followed, aligning his movements with hers, creating a tableau of partnership and unity that spoke to the depth of their connection and the resilience that had brought them here. The ambient reflections of light and crystal highlighted the elegance, strength, and cohesion of the family, capturing a moment of profound harmony and promise. As Maya and John shared a quiet, meaningful glance, the children nestled between them. The room seemed to hold its breath, suspended in the acknowledgement of love, perseverance, and the bright, open potential of a future unbound by past prejudice, a future waiting to be embraced fully by the family standing together, radiant, resilient, and united. The morning sun spilled through the towering windows, casting soft ribbons of light across the marble floors of the St. Regis ballroom, and Maya Johnson stood with her children nestled close, their small hands entwined with hers, each movement radiating a quiet confidence and assurance that only years of perseverance and careful nurturing could cultivate. John Carter remained at her side, his posture relaxed but attentive, his eyes reflecting pride and admiration as he watched Maya interact with their children, offering guidance and warmth while moving gracefully through the room. The mother observed from a respectful distance, her expression a mixture of contemplation and tentative acceptance, absorbing the undeniable reality of the family that stood before her, a living testament to love, resilience, and unwavering integrity. The children's laughter, light and pure, echoed gently, threading through the ambient sounds of quiet conversation and the subtle clinking of crystal glasses, filling the space with vitality and affirming the triumph of patience and determination over long-held prejudice. Maya bent slightly to adjust the collar of her youngest child's jacket, her movements deliberate and elegant, conveying calm authority and the quiet mastery of circumstance that she had honed over the years. John mirrored her subtly, reinforcing a visual harmony that spoke of partnership, shared history, and mutual respect, their alignment an unspoken testament to the unity of their family. The mother's gaze softened incrementally, the sharp rigidity that had once defined her judgment giving way to acknowledgement and reflection, her recognition that love, dedication, and steadfast integrity could not be denied or diminished. The ambient light caught on the polished surfaces and crystal accents, highlighting the subtle elegance and poise of Maya's presence, her aura of calm strength commanding attention without assertion. The children's innocent chatter continued, reinforcing the authenticity and warmth that radiated from their family, bridging the gap between past tension and present harmony, illustrating the quiet power of resilience and moral authority. Maya lifted her gaze to the panoramic view of the city below, the glimmering skyline mirrored in the reflective surfaces, a visual metaphor for the bright potential of the future, unbounded and luminous, and a reminder of the journey that had brought them here. John's hand brushed against hers gently, a silent acknowledgement of shared responsibility, trust, and the enduring bond that had grown from years of collaboration, patience, and mutual support. The mother continued to watch, her expression shifting subtly as she reconciled past expectations with the reality of a family built on love and dignity, her stance loosening in a quiet gesture of acceptance. The soft strains of music in the background wove seamlessly with the natural sounds of movement and laughter, amplifying the elegance and significance of the moment, underscoring the subtle triumph of integrity, grace, and resilience. Maya guided her children with measured steps, each motion deliberate, composed, and nurturing, a reflection of the confidence and authority earned through persistence, care, and unwavering self-respect. John aligned his movements alongside hers, reinforcing the visual tableau of unity, mutual respect, and enduring partnership, while the mother observed the family dynamics, absorbing the lessons of patience, perseverance, and the transformative power of dignity over prejudice. The soft glow of morning light illuminated the faces of the children, the warm reflections dancing across the polished floors and crystal embellishments, highlighting the vitality, joy, and authenticity that their presence brought to the room. Maya allowed herself a quiet, satisfied smile, a small acknowledgement of the years of effort, the integrity preserved, and the family now thriving under her care and guidance. John shared a glance with her, brief but loaded with meaning, a testament to shared history, respect, and the quiet pride of observing the resilience and strength of the family they had nurtured together. The mother's hands clasped lightly before her, her eyes lingering on the children, her internal reflections gradually shifting, a subtle recognition of the undeniable impact of love, commitment, and integrity on the life before her. The city outside continued to glimmer, each light a reminder of the infinite possibilities ahead, the reflection in the polished surfaces echoing the promise of new chapters, bright and unrestrained, a living testament to the power of perseverance, patience, and the enduring bonds of family that had been forged through adversity, triumph, and unwavering dignity. The sunlight streamed more fully into the St. Regis ballroom, casting long, gentle beams across the polished floors, illuminating the space where Maya Johnson and her children now stood with John Carter close at her side, his posture relaxed but attentive, a quiet reassurance of partnership and shared history. The children, vibrant and animated, skipped lightly across the floor, their laughter a musical thread weaving through the ambient sounds of soft conversation and the subtle clink of fine china and crystal, creating a rhythm that seemed to echo the triumph of patience and perseverance. Maya's emerald eyes traced their movements, a quiet smile tugging at the corners of her lips, reflecting pride in the resilience, grace, and character her children carried, cultivated under the gentle guidance and unwavering integrity she had imparted over the years. John bent slightly to adjust the collar of his eldest child, speaking in a soft, steady tone, his attention entirely present and deliberate, reinforcing the strength of his commitment to both Maya and their family. The mother stood nearby, her expression thoughtful and introspective, the hard lines of previous judgment softened as she observed the effortless connection, the shared warmth, and the undeniable presence of love that radiated from the family. Every glance, every subtle interaction, conveyed a story of endurance, integrity, and the triumph of quiet strength over societal expectation. Maya bent to straighten a ribbon on her youngest child's dress, her movements elegant, precise, and purposeful, symbolizing the authority and grace she had earned through years of persistence and self-respect. John mirrored her subtly, the synchronicity of their actions reflecting unity, partnership, and mutual understanding, a visual affirmation of the depth and stability of the family they had nurtured together. The mother's gaze softened further, her breathing slow and measured, as the truth of the moment became undeniable, the evidence of love, dedication, and unwavering character manifest in the children's happiness and the composed confidence of Maya herself. The ambient light caught the subtle shimmer of Maya's dress and the polished surfaces around them, amplifying the quiet authority she carried, a presence that commanded respect without a single word being spoken. The children's chatter and playful gestures continued, filling the room with life and reinforcing the authenticity, resilience, and joy of the family unit. Guests shifted their attention with quiet reverence, observing without intrusion, drawn to the harmony, warmth, and elegance radiating from Maya, John, and their children, recognizing the unspoken power and influence of integrity and quiet confidence. The city outside glittered against the morning sky, mirrored in the reflective surfaces within, a symbol of potential, growth, and the bright possibilities of the future. Maya allowed herself a reflective glance toward John, their eyes meeting in silent acknowledgement of the journey that had brought them here, the obstacles overcome, and the strength of the bonds they had built together. The mother, standing slightly apart, observed with a mixture of contemplation and tentative acceptance, recognizing that her previous expectations had been surpassed by the evidence of perseverance, dignity, and the transformative power of love and family. Maya guided her children through the room with measured steps, her movements composed, deliberate, and full of quiet authority, reinforcing the safety, stability, and warmth of the environment. John aligned his movements alongside hers, maintaining a visual rhythm that spoke of unity, shared responsibility, and enduring commitment. The light reflected in the crystal accents and polished floors highlighted the elegance, grace, and cohesion of the family, emphasizing the culmination of years of resilience, patience, and principled strength. Every glance, every gesture, every laugh from the children contributed to the tableau of quiet triumph, integrity, and familial harmony, reinforcing the enduring lessons of perseverance and unwavering moral character. The mother's posture relaxed incrementally, her recognition of the family's accomplishments, love, and unwavering integrity slowly taking root as she absorbed the evidence of what had been built and nurtured, a testament to patience, courage, and enduring commitment. The family paused briefly near the terrace windows, the golden morning light framing their silhouettes, casting shadows and reflections that spoke of hope, renewal, and the promise of continued growth and happiness. Maya and John shared a glance, brief yet filled with understanding, acknowledgement, and mutual pride, their hands gently brushing as the children nestled closely, reinforcing the unity, strength, and resilience that defined their family. The city beyond sparkled, mirroring the light in the room and symbolizing the unbounded potential of the future, luminous and full of possibility, a living testament to love, dignity, and the enduring power of family, resilience, and unwavering integrity. The afternoon sunlight shifted across the St. Regis ballroom, casting long golden streaks on the polished floors, highlighting the poised figures of Maya Johnson, John Carter, and their children as they moved through the space with natural ease. The children's laughter rose and fell like a gentle melody, their small voices weaving through the soft ambient music and the muted conversations of the remaining guests, reinforcing the vibrant energy and authenticity of the family unit. Maya's eyes caught the light, reflecting a quiet satisfaction and pride, the culmination of years spent nurturing resilience, integrity, and grace in herself and in her children. John followed closely, his gaze steady, warm, and unwavering, a silent testament to partnership, mutual respect, and the shared commitment to the family they had built together. The mother stood nearby, her posture less rigid than before, the initial lines of disapproval softening as she absorbed the undeniable evidence of love, patience, and dignity embodied in every movement of Maya and the children. Each detail of the room, the shimmer of silk, the polished crystal, the gleam of marble floors, echoed the elegance and poise of the family, amplifying the gravity of the moment and emphasizing the triumph of integrity and perseverance over past prejudice. Maya bent slightly to straighten the youngest child's bow, her actions precise, composed, and graceful, signaling authority through quiet confidence and control of her environment. John mirrored her subtly, their movements aligned in a harmonious rhythm that spoke volumes about unity, shared responsibility, and the strength of their connection. The mother's eyes followed the children, absorbing the proof of a life nurtured with care, resilience, and unwavering commitment, gradually transforming her judgment into acknowledgement and admiration. The room, bathed in golden light, seemed to breathe with them, each soft laugh, each careful gesture, and each glance conveying a story of endurance, love, and triumph over expectation. Maya guided her children with deliberate steps, composed and confident, reinforcing the sense of stability, warmth, and protection she had cultivated over the years, while John's movements complemented hers, the synchronization of visual representation of their partnership and the balance of trust and mutual respect. The children moved with curiosity and confidence, their presence bridging past tension and present harmony, illustrating the quiet power of integrity, patience, and unwavering love. Guests observed discreetly, drawn to the tableau of family strength, unity, and grace, captivated by the authenticity and poise that radiated from Maya and John and their children. The soft reflection of chandeliers, crystal accents, and polished floors magnified the subtle elegance and authority of Maya's presence, a living representation of triumph through perseverance and dignity. Maya allowed herself a soft, reflective smile, acknowledging silently the journey they had undertaken and the family they had created, a life defined by resilience, patience, and unwavering principles. John's hand brushed hers gently, a quiet gesture of acknowledgement and solidarity, reinforcing the enduring partnership and shared commitment that had guided them to this moment. The mother's stance continued to soften, her observation and contemplation evolving into a tentative acceptance, a recognition of the power of love, patience, and steadfast character over prejudice and expectation. The children's laughter intertwined with the ambient sounds of the room, creating a vivid, dynamic presence that underscored the success of a family built on integrity, perseverance, and mutual respect. Maya and John paused briefly, the city lights beyond the terrace reflecting in their eyes, capturing a moment of shared pride, unity, and quiet triumph. The room seemed to hold its breath, the soft glow of afternoon sunlight, polished surfaces, and crystal accents highlighting the enduring strength and dignity of the family. Every glance, every gesture, every laugh from the children reinforced the narrative of resilience, the victory of patience, and the unwavering bonds of love and integrity. The mother's gaze lingered, absorbing the living proof of what had been achieved, her reflections slowly reconciling the past with the undeniable present, an acknowledgement that love, dignity, and perseverance could not be constrained by outdated expectations. The family moved together with fluidity, their presence commanding respect without effort, a visual testament to the enduring power of integrity, unity, and the quiet authority of a life well lived, leaving the future luminous, open, and full of promise for the chapters yet to come. The late afternoon sun cast a warm, amber glow across the St. Regis ballroom, illuminating every polished surface and crystal accent with a soft brilliance that seemed to echo the calm triumph radiating from Maya Johnson and her family. The children's laughter bubbled gently, threading through the soft ambient music, carrying with it the unspoken joy of innocence and the affirmation of a family solidified through years of perseverance and unwavering integrity. Maya adjusted the ribbon on her youngest child's dress, her hands steady and deliberate, every movement reflecting the grace, poise, and quiet authority she had cultivated over years of challenges met with patience and courage. John Carter remained at her side, his presence both grounding and reassuring, his eyes reflecting admiration, pride, and the deep satisfaction of witnessing the family they had nurtured together. The mother stood at a respectful distance, her expression softening further, the rigidity of past expectations giving way to recognition and attentive, reflective acceptance of the life Maya had built and the love that had flourished despite every obstacle. Each glance and subtle interaction conveyed a narrative of resilience and dignity, a testament to the triumph of quiet perseverance over societal constraints and prejudice. The children moved about with confident curiosity, their laughter and chatter filling the room with vitality, a living manifestation of love, hope, and the enduring bonds of family. Maya bent slightly to straighten her eldest child's collar, her movements precise and elegant, demonstrating composure and command without the need for words, a reflection of her cultivated authority and steadfastness. John mirrored her movements, their gestures synchronized, creating a visual tableau of unity, partnership, and shared commitment that was both subtle and profound. The ambient light reflected off chandeliers and polished floors, accentuating the family's presence and the graceful, deliberate nature of their interactions, highlighting the quiet power and dignity that defined Maya's leadership of her family. The mother's gaze lingered on the children, and a subtle warmth appeared in her eyes as she absorbed the undeniable evidence of love, dedication, and perseverance that had shaped the family into a harmonious unit. The soft hum of conversation and the delicate notes of background music created an atmosphere of calm celebration, amplifying the significance of the moment while allowing the family's story to resonate without intrusion. Maya allowed herself a small, reflective smile, acknowledging the culmination of years of determination, patience, and unwavering integrity that had brought them to this point. John's hand brushed gently against hers, a silent affirmation of solidarity, trust, and mutual respect, reinforcing the strength of their partnership and the enduring connection that had guided them through every challenge. The children's laughter and playful movement continued, filling the room with life and authenticity, bridging the gap between past tension and present harmony, a living testament to the power of love, perseverance, and quiet authority. Every subtle glance, every deliberate motion, every soft laugh contributed to the tableau of resilience, integrity, and family unity, underscoring the significance of a life cultivated with patience, courage, and unwavering principles. The mother's posture softened further, her reflections gradually aligning with the reality of the family's success, her previous doubts giving way to acknowledgement of the dignity, love, and perseverance that had defined their journey. Maya guided her children with measured, composed steps, each motion conveying protective warmth and calm assurance. While John's movements alongside her reinforced the unity, strength, and partnership that anchored their family. The light streaming through the tall windows glimmered across the polished floors and crystal accents, emphasizing the elegance, poise, and quiet authority of the family, while symbolizing the luminous potential of the future that lay before them. Each interaction, every glance, and every subtle gesture reinforced the story of triumph over adversity, of resilience and patience rewarded, and of the enduring power of love and integrity to shape a family united, proud, and unshakable. The room seemed to breathe along with them, the soft light and gentle music creating a serene backdrop for a family standing together, radiant, strong, and ready to embrace the promise of the chapters yet to unfold, a living testament to the quiet victories achieved through patience, perseverance, and unwavering moral character. The golden light of the late afternoon bathed the St. Regis ballroom in warmth, the crystal chandeliers casting prismatic reflections across the polished floors, highlighting every subtle movement of Maya Johnson and her children as they moved together, united and confident, through the space. John Carter stayed close to Maya, his hand lightly resting on her back, a quiet signal of partnership and shared responsibility, his gaze following the children with warmth and pride as they navigated the room, with natural curiosity and laughter that filled the space with life and authenticity. The mother lingered at a distance, her posture gradually relaxing, the once rigid lines of disapproval softening as she took in the undeniable strength, dignity, and grace that radiated from Maya and the family she had built. Every subtle glance, every measured movement, and every soft laugh of the children spoke to years of perseverance, patience, and quiet determination, the tangible results of a life guided by integrity and unwavering commitment. Maya bent slightly to straighten her youngest child's jacket, her hands precise and graceful, conveying authority and composure without a single word, while John mirrored her actions with seamless synchronicity, reinforcing the visual tableau of unity and mutual respect. The ambient reflections of light from chandeliers and polished surfaces seemed to accentuate the elegance and poise of the family, highlighting the subtle power inherent in their presence, a quiet testament to endurance and resilience. The children's playful chatter mingled with the soft background music, creating a delicate harmony that filled the room with the vibrancy of life and the affirmation of love, trust, and familial bond. Maya allowed herself a small, reflective smile, acknowledging silently the culmination of years of challenge and triumph, the strength of character that had brought them to this moment, and the quiet authority she now carried effortlessly. John's hand brushed gently against hers, a brief but meaningful gesture, affirming solidarity, trust, and the shared satisfaction of having nurtured a family built on love, patience, and moral strength. The mother's gaze remained fixed on the children, absorbing the evidence of perseverance, affection, and dignity, and slowly, an internal acknowledgement formed, a recognition that their family had achieved something remarkable, a triumph that could not be denied or diminished by prejudice. The soft ambient music, the shimmering reflections of light on crystal and marble, and the children's laughter created an atmosphere of serene celebration, emphasizing the quiet victory and cohesion of the family unit. Maya guided the children with composed, deliberate steps, each motion communicating warmth, protection, and stability, while John aligned his movements with hers, reinforcing the visual impression of unity, balance, and enduring partnership. The mother's expression continued to evolve, the softness in her gaze becoming more pronounced as she reconciled her previous expectations with the undeniable reality before her, her reflection and acknowledgement of the power of integrity, resilience, and love to shape lives and heal perceptions. The city outside shimmered in the late afternoon sun, the skyline mirrored faintly in the polished surfaces and windows, symbolizing the promise of possibility, growth, and luminous potential in the future. Each interaction, glance, and subtle gesture within the room underscored the triumph of patience, perseverance, and unshakable integrity over adversity and outdated expectations. Maya and John paused briefly, the children nestled between them, a tableau of grace, calm, and enduring strength, their silhouettes framed by the warm light as a symbol of unity and hope. The gentle hum of life, combined with the soft reflections of the room and the laughter of the children, created a perfect harmony that conveyed the story of resilience and quiet triumph without the need for words. The mother's hands unclasped slightly, her eyes lingering with thoughtful reflection, a silent acknowledgement of the family's achievements and the enduring power of love, patience, and moral fortitude. Maya allowed herself one last sweeping glance across the ballroom, absorbing the energy, light, and subtle warmth of the moment, feeling a profound satisfaction and quiet triumph, knowing that the family they had built stood strong, radiant, and united, ready to embrace the bright, open possibilities of the future, a living testament to dignity, perseverance, and the transformative power of love.